Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo and this is your Geek Out for today. I'm not mad, but I do want to remind you that if you comment on all of the LOCKERGNOME.com articles this week, the ones that we link in the Geek Out video descriptions, one of you will get a complimentary 6-month subscription to LootCrate. It's kind of like a monthly gift box filled with goodies for geeks. You saw me open mine. Can't wait to see the next one. Participate. And if you want to get your own, you don't want to jump through the giveaway hoops, well, you can get your own Loot Crate for like 10% off if you use the coupon code LOCKERGNOME when you check out. So here's the big deal today, and yes, we did write up a roundup of what Amazon announced this morning. Kindle Fires, new Kindle Fires, and all new Kindle Fire HD. You got the Kindle Fire HD 8.9 4G, which has 4G connectivity capabilities built in for what, $50 for a full year, and I think like 250 megs a month, which for casual browsing is just fine. That's set at $499 US. Then there's the Kindle Fire HD 8.9-inch screen without 4G for $299. So a $300 9-inch tablet. Well, it's not exactly a 9-inch tablet. Come on, 8.9 inches. It's pretty much close enough. And yes, I realize the irony of me showing you this image on an iPad. I'm sure Amazon loves that. Then there's the Kindle Fire HD, the replacement of the first Kindle Fire for $200. Wow. So an 8.9-inch Kindle Fire HD with slightly better graphics than the classic Kindle Fire. Well, I don't know, slightly. Certainly better. I haven't seen any benchmarks as of yet. That one right in the middle, that $300 Kindle Fire HD 8.9-inch screen, that's a sweet spot. That's sweet. I might, after I see how it feels and how it works in terms of performance, be inclined to get me another Kindle Fire. Yes, I'm applauding for myself. Are you getting one? Misplaced blame. Video games do not equal violence and suicide. Even though Candace wrote the article, I completely agree with everything that she wrote. I long believe that violence doesn't come from video games. I mean, people were violent long before video games existed. It's just that video games happen to be something to blame. It's always going to be something to blame. The kids of this generation are worse than they ever have been. No! Kids have always been bad. People have always been bad. We've just got something else to blame. Video games don't cause violence. Things inside the brain most likely cause violence. I'm not being violent. I'm not upset. Well, okay, maybe I am a little upset at people who blame the wrong thing. You either blame yourself or understand that it has more to do with what's in here, not what's here. This is me playing an invisible controller, by the way, in case you were wondering. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. Is there a Windows 8 XP mode? No. And I realize it's anticlimactic, but it's something that you need to pay attention to, because if you're going to be migrating to Windows 8 from Windows 7 or Windows XP, although a fraction of you apparently are using Vista still, but interesting statistic, there are more people using OS 10 than Windows Vista. So just want to throw that out there. Not a lot of Vista lovers, so and for good reason. I wasn't a fan of Vista either. But even though Windows 8 doesn't have XP mode built in, you could run a virtual machine software within Windows 8 and get XP mode through there. That would be my prime recommendation anyway. You know, no matter which one you're using. Granted, you might be using Parallels, and yes, they have been a sponsor. In fact, they're currently giving away the MacBook Air. You guys remember that Geek Out that I announced yesterday? All you had to do is retweet one of my tweets that I told you to retweet, and you'd be entered to get it. Anyway, so no, it's not built in, but yes, you can run XP, like full-on XP inside a virtual machine in Windows 8. We've done videos and had tutorials about how to do just that, so I'm not going to go into it at this point in time. Bottom line, it's yes and no, but mostly yes and kind of no. Blindness. Is a cure possible? I am kind of excited about technologies in terms of our vision and potentially fixing problems that our bodies have created for ourselves. My grandmother suffered from macular degeneration. My mom is also likely going to be suffering from it. My eyesight's not as bad as theirs, but I still need to wear corrective lenses. I have an astigmatism, I think, in my right eye. My left eye is my dominant eye, and I'm definitely getting older. So it's been nice to see that people who've been blind their entire lives have been helped by technology, rewiring what goes on in their eyes, or potentially even augmenting their eyes with artificial eyes that basically connect to the brain and allow the brain to translate signals that that camera sees, the artificial eye. There may come a time when blindness just won't exist, and that, I guess, is a personal thing for me because, you know, I know my grandmother wasn't able to see many of the people that she loved in her later years, and I certainly would never hope to ever see the day, no pun intended, where I had lost so much vision that it was impossible to see anything around me. Amazon Kindle Paperwhite adds backlit display to Kindle Reader. Okay, you know the Kindle that you probably have in your head, you know, well, not in your, maybe you have it in your hands. I mean, when I say Kindle, what's the product you think about? Oh, it's an e-reader with, you know, that display that flashes every time you turn the page. Well, now they've added a backlight to it, which makes it potentially more visible in, well, dark places. You know, you might read in the dark, although I wouldn't recommend, you know, reading any scary things in the dark. By the way, this is the first e-ink display in the Kindle line to feature any kind of lighting. So if you are an ebook reader, and that's really what that Kindle is for, that's its whole purpose, is to help you read, and certainly be portable with a long-lasting battery life. This is a good thing. I was never really in line for this product. I'm not. If I read, it's usually, you know, short bursts, social media stuff that we do on LockerGNOME, etc. Another thing to note: this is apparently 25% better in terms of contrast with the darks and lights, of course, on the screen when we're talking contrast, and has 212 pixels per inch. That gives the screen 62% more pixels, so things will be sharper and clearer. What's not to like? I'd say that'd make a pretty good upgrade if you have a Kindle and you like the Kindle. Get some better hardware. Sell the old one, you know, don't just shelve it. Like you might do with an old book, right? You know, you buy a book once, you read it, and you put it on a shelf. You could do that with a piece of hardware, but you could turn it over for cash. You could turn both over for cash, although no one really buys old books anymore. How to make yourself understood in social media. You have all those thoughts swimming around in your head. I know your first instinct is to go to that comment line and go blah, 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 blah. And sometimes that's what it sounds like. I know that's what I sounded like just then, but, you know, I've said this before. Twitter's a great place to tell the world what you're thinking before you've had a chance to think about it. And that's a problem, because you're probably trying to communicate a thought. If you've got an idea in your head, you owe it to yourself, really, and to the people you're communicating with, to communicate it as clearly as possible. I can't read your mind, man. I can only go by what you give me in return. And here's an example. So we're going to be doing a live stream of Apple's announcements on the 12th. Next week, about a week from now. We've already put the video link in our YouTube channel, so you can jump to it and get the countdown. Hopefully you'll join us live. Someone commented there and just was spouting off like, oh, Apple hasn't changed anything from the first iPhone, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, okay, dude, I understand you not liking Apple. I get that. I really get that. But where's the evidence to back up your claim that Apple has changed nothing from the first iPhone to, let's say, even the third iPhone, let alone the fifth iPhone? It's just, you didn't communicate that well at all. It just seemed like you were ranting and raving and more emotionally than logically charged. And if that was your idea, it was to let the world know that you are an emotional mess, I guess the point was taken, but you gotta communicate clearly, man. You owe it to yourself. You want to be seen as someone who's intelligent, I'd assume. We can have differences of opinion, that's fine, but if you're going to throw something out like that, you got to back it up with, what's the word I'm looking for? Facts. After 35 years, Voyager is nearing the edge of the solar system, or Voyager, for all you Star Trek fans. Speaking of, you caught in the vlog, Jerry Ryan is following me on Twitter now. We've already had a conversation, because apparently Phil Plait, the bad astronomer, who's really a great astronomer, has given me a space rock, and I have had this for quite some time. Met him when I hosted Call for Help, and Jerry Ryan does not yet have a meteorite from Phil. You know who Jerry Ryan is, right? 7 of 9, Voyager, any of this ringing a bell? Bing it on! Bing goes toe-to-toe against Google. Well, it's about time. I mean, I've used Bing before. I think most people have, like, once or twice, and I hesitate to call it an alternative to Google, but that's pretty much where we've accommodated it in our brain. I've long believed that Google has needed stiff competition in order to continue to innovate. And in the search world, unfortunately, right now, it's Google and everybody else. And whether you want Bing to take the place of a runner-up to a Google alternative, or possibly even DuckDuckGo, there's a fun little search engine. We actually get traffic from DuckDuckGo about as much as we do from Bing. So it's nice to see that Microsoft is showing you really what you want to see, and that's results. Who cares where you get the results from, as long as you get the results that you're hoping to get? Bing can give that to you. Facebook's Instagram purchase finally complete, over 5 billion photos shared to date. Most of them, food porn. Feds say mobile phone location data not constitutionally protected. Well, that doesn't make me comfortable. HootSuite acquires Seesmic. Good going, Luik! YouTube user BBbloodbrotherCCCX writes, Chris, do you speak Spanish? Poquito. I think, is that little? No. Minime? Un pene? I don't really. Kinda. Asi. At LockerGnome.net, Tux Penguin asks, is 4 gigs of RAM enough for a MacBook Pro? 4 gigs of RAM is enough for just about any computer these days. So long as you're doing just average stuff. Now, if you're talking about video processing, you probably want as much RAM as you could possibly afford. YouTube user Wheelman133T Leet writes, anyone else getting video crashes sometimes when ads play before videos? Is it because of YouTube or Flash Player? I don't know if I'm inclined to blame YouTube on this one. Flash is pretty much Flash crash. There's a reason they rhyme. Well, that's not really the reason. That was kind of a leap in logic there. But you may need to update your Flash Player. Your browser may be running multiple instances of Flash, either the same version or potentially multiple versions, especially if you run Google Chrome. And then, I would do this before anything else. Check your extensions. Disable all the extensions and see if it still crashes. Because chances are you're running an extension that clobbers something that Flash is trying to do, or something that YouTube is trying to help Flash do, or make Flash do. Well, Flash just seems to have a mind of its own. Like, please, Flash, don't crash. Yeah, whatever! That's what it says, right? Yeah, that's what, why? I'd respect that, Yeah, screw you, I'm going home. That's what Flash says to me sometimes. In my head, really. That's where I am. So, thank you for commenting. Thank you for participating. Thank you for following us on all the social networks, Twitter, Facebook, and yes, even Google+. Thank you for subscribing to this LockerGnome YouTube channel. And thank you for sharing what I share with you. The links to LockerGnome articles, LockerGnome.net. This video itself, other videos we've done, we appreciate when you share, because that's how other people are going to become a part of our community. You bring them in, not just me, okay? We're a team, you and I. So the next thing I was going to tell you that I'm very grateful for is all of your likes for every one of the videos that we do, and all the attention you guys give us. Believe you me, it is not wasted. Thank you. We'll see you later. Blah, 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 blah.